Hello and welcome to the Let's Play of Sonic Generations. I'm not sure how well this will turn out, but I guess I'll see. I have with me here, Kiteisthebomb. And, Chaotix. I guess they're being kind of quiet. You guys alive over there, guys?
I was gonna go ahead and say hello as soon as you said my name.
Alright. Well, here's the classic old Green Hill. I mean, not much else to say. This level's been, in my opinion, it's been kind of used a lot. And I mean, like, for example, Emerald Hill and the level from Sonic CD kind of, did the same thing, too.
Well, at the same time, my own honest opinion, I think that they did pretty well on this, even though you did lose a whole bunch of rings right there. I mean, just the entire remix of the stage, the way that they checked everything, the way they, oh man, it's nostalgic, yet at the same time, it gives a new twist to the Green Hill Zone, if you ask me.
Oh yeah, it's really fun. And yeah, I did totally lose rings. And I hate how slow those platforms are right there. Nixon, what do you think?
I like it. I actually liked how they made it, how they redesigned it. It was actually really cool. Not as good as the original, though. I mean, the original has a nostalgia factor, but this is actually really nice.
Well, I think in its own way, this has a nostalgia factor. They're all repeats of levels we've seen in previous Sonic games, and to me, that in and of itself is really nostalgic in its own weird way, and really fun.
I'll second that.
I actually also think it's really cool how you start with the classic Sonic and then you go to the modern Sonic levels. I think that was genius instead of making it just, like modern Sonic for the later levels and Sonic for the early ones. Because that means we can see the whole game from two perspectives at any given time, which is just really awesome.
Yeah, especially when you get down to the modern Sonic version of Green Hill Zone demo. I played it again and again and again. Even today, I still can't get enough of it. Like this right here.
Yes, this right here is awesome.
Here, hooray for S-Ring.
Yeah, but I mean, seriously, right? Bam. I can't even get enough of how awesome this is. And, honestly, I think people might have been too harsh on Sonic, and, I noticed Game Informer actually insulted this game a little bit, and I was like, what? Why would you do that? This is, the best thing to happen to Sonic in a long time. I mean, even Sonic the Hedgehog 4 with its classic levels didn't quite feel right. The physics were kind of off, and it had the homing attack, which, is more fit for these kind of levels, like the modern levels. And, Sonic Unleashed, all they can do is bitch about the Werehog levels, when honestly the daytime levels are much like what it is now, and Sonic Colors, unfortunately, was only on the Wii, so I never really got to play that.
And I did not like Sonic. I like Sonic at the Secret Rings, but I like the multiplayer mode. That's a nice touch, but I hate it. I hated how you play it. Same thing with Black Knight. The controls were completely awkward. It was just an atrocity, in my opinion.
Oh, I love this little fish right here. It feels like a tribute. A tribute to that, my favorite level in Sonic Adventure 1, when that orca chases you, except it's a fish. I love that. That right there, that is just awesome.
Actually, they do have that scene repeated in the Generations 3DS version. Since it does have the level playable on the 3DS.
Yeah, I also thought it was interesting they have, night version and the 3DS version. I mean, you do get something like that in this, but it's just a pinball machine if you, got the DLC, so it's not quite the same.
Yeah, true.
Nice. Yeah, I know, right? I'm hoping we can really fill this up with really colorful commentary, since I got a Sonic fan and I got Nixon here, who I'm assuming likes Sonic as well. And, I mean, I started with Sonic the Hedgehog 2, the second one, on the Sega Genesis, so honestly, Green Hill isn't as nostalgic for me, but I still love the level, and it is a lot of fun, so, yeah.
But anyway, back on the critic bit for a moment. When it said Game Informer completely insulted this game, I was honestly ticked off on it, and quite honestly, when they said that all the game critics were hyped up for this game, I was like, oh my gosh, something's gonna go wrong. I just know it. Because whenever people get hyped up for something, they expect way too much. When I heard this game was coming out, I was just hearing that it was going to be bringing back all the old levels. I just wanted for the gameplay and the nostalgic feel, and when that's what I got, I was totally happy with it.
Well, and I mean, and that's not just that. You have to get the gameplay right. You have to make it a fun game. And that's the thing that this noticed. It said you don't have to throw in a bunch of levels with the werehog like Unleashed did. All you need is just a super fast Sonic doing what Sonic does best, and then throw in the classic levels for the old fans. I mean, just a perfect marriage of the old and the new.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, at the same time, they were going on all the other factors, like the story wasn't all it should have been, and this and that. The controls were sloppy. It was all so glitchy. I was like, oh my gosh, guys, think about it. No, it's not as that glitchy. It's sure it does have its problems. When you look back at all, when you look past all that, I mean, just look at Chemical Plant. I loved this place when it was my number 2 on Sonic the Hedgehog 2 back in 1992.
Yeah, Casino Night's the only one that was better for me, but I absolutely... Okay, at first I hated this level. The reason why I hated this level at first is it literally took me years to beat it. And then when I finally beat it, I felt so happy. And I mean, this level now is extremely nostalgic for me, since back then you didn't have a save, so you kept having to replay the game. And it got to where this was like my old friend that would greet me as the second stage, that dreaded secret stage that I had finally conquered. And I mean... It's very nostalgic and very fun to do. I absolutely love it, really.
Dixon, any comment?
Yeah, about stuff you saying earlier, I'm a jack of all trades. I like a lot of games, and I do love Sonic games. And Chemical Plant never gave me much trouble. I mean, my cousin showed me the basics when I was a little kid. And, it was quite hard for me, but then again, I was like 2 or 3 when I first played it.
Oh my gosh, I hated when you were underwater. Like, I was like, why the hell can't he swim? And then when you played it on the Generation, or, yeah, this is Generations, right? Yeah, I was like, oh my god, I can't believe I forgot the name. But yeah, I hated it. I hated it here, but I was used to it by now, so it was like... I was like, you know, I already saw it coming, so I tried to avoid it, and I kept replaying this stage, but I just... And I was like, you know what, screw it, and I finally just said, okay, I'll go in the water. If I can't figure out how to stay out of it, I'll just let it happen. Oh, and here we go. Here's the modern stage. The modern stage is a lot of fun. I purposely went on the alternate path right there. See how I did that? Because I wanted to show off some alternate paths here and there on some of these. So, yeah.
Thing is, I never knew there's an alternate path on there until I started really exploring a little bit. I was like, I'm wondering about those other things. Like, they have to be there for a reason. I know they're not just for show. Then when I finally found it, I was like, oh my gosh, why didn't I see that sooner?
Yeah, I mean, it's really a lot of fun, honestly. And, see, Chemical Plant in 3D is really cool. When I saw this, I nearly teared up. I'm not even joking. I almost cried. Because I was just like, oh my gosh, this is that level in 3D. That is so awesome. And I gotta say, this right here, this 2D, I hate when the modern Sonic switches to 2D. It pisses me off. I want it to just stay in 3D.
I gotten used to it since Sonic Unleashed. I don't know, like just a small switch back to the original 2D. It just feels to me more of a break from all the quick speed from Sonic, just like a quick platforming bit for you in order to be able to breathe and relax.
But that's the thing, that should be happening in 3D. You should be having that platforming happening in 3D and have that quick break happen in full 3D. I mean, you don't have to have all speed all the time to be in 3D. And I mean, the speed is fun. So I mean, don't knock it, because I mean, you still want platforming, but you want the speed to stay there. Having a break from the speed wouldn't make any sense. This is a Sonic game. I mean, that's part of the problem with the mechs and, like, Adventure 2 and stuff. I mean, you want speed. That's the whole point of this game, and it's fun. But you also want platforming, and that's a problem that I think some games have done with Sonic, is that they focus too much on the speed. But at the same time, while you want speed and platforming, you want a good bit of both, and you don't need to be in 2D to do that. It is especially jarring in this game, because, you know, when you got, like, the classic levels, you know, I mean, there's no point. But I will say, I still love this level. Don't get me wrong. Still love it.
Yeah, true. You got a good argument. I'll admit that. But another thing I loved about the Sonic Generations would definitely be the remix of the music.
Oh yeah, the remixes are really nice.
Chemical Plant Zone, the modern. I haven't heard of anybody that they absolutely hate. I know people said they prefer the classic version over top, but they didn't say they hated it. So they'll say that they.
Well, and I mean, a lot of times they're both a little bit different in their own ways if you think about it. I mean, maybe not, maybe it's just my imagination, I don't know, but it feels like versions are a little bit different.
Oh, yeah.
I had a bit of trouble there getting on that ledge, right, see? And then I massively failed there. Fail. Get up there, get up there. Fail again. You fail, sir. What?
Half the time. When I got there,
What half the time?
Okay, what's going on? Time, homie.
Sorry, Chaotix, you're kind of fading a bit.